And who will make the Australia 15 for the T20 World Cup? Welcome to the shiny side. I'm your host, Faris, and we have with us, joining us from Bahrain is Imran. Imran, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Faris. How are you doing?
I'm very well, Imran. I was, I think, messaging you earlier about this, right? But I was looking at some of the squads for this kind of doing the prep for the shows, and I realized that when I got to the Australian squad, I'm like, man, these guys will be hard to beat. What do
I
you think
think
about
we've been
that?
saying that since 1983,
Yeah,
so
we've been saying that
nothing
most
new
of our
there.
lives, right? But like, man, they
Yeah,
have some good stuff happening. But okay, so let's get into it, guys. So the way this will work is we'll try to select a squad of at least seven batsmen, at least two spinners, at least four quicks, and then we will see and fill in the remaining gaps based on what we end up with, right? So I'm going to list out the people who I think are a sure shot in the 15. And Imran, if you have a different view, then please say so. So I think the guys
sure.
who are confirmed at this point are Travis Head,
Yeah,
David
for
Warner,
sure. Yeah.
Mitch Marsh, assuming he's fit. He left the IPL halfway, but he's.
Right. By the way, there's an injury concern on Warner as well, right now, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think I believe he's fit, but he's still with the squad. So I think he's not as bad as Mitch Marsh is for
Okay.
sure. But
Fair
then
enough.
there's Warner,
Yeah.
there's Mitch Marsh, there's Glenn Maxwell, who's having
Yeah.
a horrid IPL, but I still think he'll be in the mix. And then there's Tim David, who seems to be their designated finisher nowadays. So I feel like he's probably a sure shot in the squad at least. With the spinner, there's only one who's a sure shot. That's Zampa.
Yeah, agree.
And then with the quicks, I guess it's the four. It's the big three: Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins. So I mean, to be
Yeah.
honest, we already have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys who are already kind of in the squad. So this is going to be an easier show.
Yeah.
Now this is where it gets interesting, right? We have 5 batsmen already. We have slots for at least 2 more. Now there's Cam Green.
Yeah.
There's this new kid called Jake Fraser McGurk, which most of the world had not heard of until recently. But he came in the Delhi 11 in the IPL after Warner got injured. And he scored in 6 games, 259 runs, average of 43 at a strike rate of 233. He's actually completely changed the game for Delhi. And he's 23 years old. Then there's Steve Smith, of course, very different kind of profile. There's Josh Inglis, the wicketkeeper. There's Matthew Wade, who's a wicketkeeper, and there's Marcus Stoinis. So I guess effectively what we're saying is we need one of the wicketkeepers anyway, right? So one of Inglis or Wade has to play. So any preferences there?
It's a hard one. It's a hard one to pick. Like Wade, the past has obviously done really well for them. I can't forget what he did against us in in the semi-final. But I think on current form and Australia's recent preference, I think they're going to go with Inglis there.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Inglis is the way to go. So then, I mean, we already have 6 batsmen down. So if I tell you need to choose one of Cam Green, Jake Fraser McGurk, Steve Smith, and Stoinis, how do you set that up? Who do you go with?
So I think Cam Green's there for sure. He brings the all-round abilities. He's very, very highly rated in Australia, I think. So I think Cam Green will be there. This is where it becomes, I think, very tricky, right? So if they want to bring in this McFraser guy, then they have to take a call on either not having a backup spinner or having a backup quick less, or not having like Smith. So
for
I think
now,
this is where
I mean, we already
tricky.
have 7 batsmen, and there's no Smith here, and there's no Fraser McGurk here either, by the way, in the top 7. So I guess for now, how about we park the batting here? We come back to it after we've done the quicks and the spinners, right? So
makes sense.
With spinners, I mean, Zampa's a sure shot. Who's there? Is there a backup? I'm not even sure who the second best spinner in Australia is right now. So I'm not sure if you have a view on this.
No, I don't. And I think also if you look at past Australian squads, they have actually gone in without backup spinners.
They called Maxwell the backup spinner in the last World Cup.
Yeah. So last World Cup, by the way, did we? Yeah, we named Maxwell. Yeah, we did. Yeah. So in the last World Cup, and I think in the last T20 World Cup, if I remember correctly, they did not have a specialist backup spinner, so to say. And I think they might go the same way again.
Yeah. So given that, also the other thing is, even if they had a spinner in the 11, right? Unless in the 15, other than Zampa, unless no matter what conditions they play in, unless Zampa is injured, there's no way that spinner is going to play ahead of Stark, Hazelwood, or Cummins, right? There's no way that's going to happen. So I understand why. Sure. I mean, that's because they clearly don't have someone with that kind of quality to be good enough, right? So I feel like for now, let's stick to Zampa, one spinner only, and we can assume Maxwell as the backup spinner. And then for the quicks, we have Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins. we have at least one more. So there's options that
Yeah.
Jai Richardson, there's Nathan Ellis, there's Spencer Johnson, who's this new big burly new left arm spinner, and then there's left arm quick, and then there's also Jason Behrendorff. Any view which way they'll go?
Yeah, I honestly can't say much here. I have not been following these guys too closely. Who
I
did they
think
have in the last World Cup, the ODI World Cup?
I'm not sure, but whoever
Mm,
they didn't really play.
Didn't
It
play
was
again. Yeah,
yeah. So it
those three
was.
played.
I think
Yeah.
Jai Richards has been around the white ball squads for a while. Nathan Ellis has been
Mm.
there recently, so I would probably assume they go with Nathan Ellis. That's what I would go
Yeah, I
with.
think so too. I think Ellis probably. Yeah.
So Nathan Ellis makes it, and then so you're in a situation where you have 4 quicks and you have 1 spinner. And then I guess we end up with what 5 plus 7 batsmen. That's 12. We still have 3 more
12.
slots,
Yeah.
so we definitely need
Mm.
1 more quick for sure. So
Yeah.
I would imagine they would go with Jai Richardson because I guess he's more suited to white ball cricket. Do you have a different view on that?
Or would you bring in Stoinis here?
So we still have 2 more
Right.
slots, by
So
the way. We still have 2 more slots, by the way.
yeah, I
So
know, but yeah, I'm just thinking. So right. So you have your core quicks are there. Your 3 quicks are there who almost certainly are going to play every game unless there's an injury or something. And Stoinis has shown that he is decent enough with the ball to get in, if not for
so
at least 3 overs
I
or
guess
so in a game.
Imran, if I can just cut you off, there's 2 more slots left anyway.
Hmm.
So
So
let's assume for a second that we only getting 2 more batsmen, not 3 more batsmen, and Stoinis is on that list. So we have
okay.
Jason, we have Jake Fraser McGurk, we have Steve Smith, and we have Stoinis. We need to select 2 of them.
Yeah. Hmm.
We have. So in my mind, it's a no-brainer at this point. I would leave Smith out. I would.
Hard one.
After
Tough
what I've
call,
seen
but
this
yeah.
Jake Fraser McGurk do on TV in the last 2 weeks, there's no way. I mean, I would really try to fit him in my 11 also, to be honest. But I think he's special. So, and Stoinis was not having the best tournament, but then he scored a 42 ball 100 or something and won a game for his team like 4 days ago as well. And we obviously have a discount what happens in the IPL in terms of batting these days, but still. So I would be inclined to put both of them in and leave Smith out.
Yeah, I think it's a tough call to make, but yeah, I think it does make sense. They have a lot of experience in the batting. It's not like they're short of experience, right? They've got Head, they've got Warner, they've got Maxwell, they have the experience. They've got Marsh. So obviously, there's a lot of experience in the batting.
So we have Head, Warner, Marsh, Maxwell,
and
Inglis.
Stoinis definitely a lot to the table with his all-round mix.
Yeah, exactly. So we end up with the squad that's Head, Warner, Marsh, Maxwell, Tim David, Inglis, Cam Green, Jake Fraser, and Stoinis. And then we have Zampa. And then we have Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins, Nathan Ellis, and Jai Richardson. What would your 11, do you want to share your 11? What do you think your 11 would be from this?
Yeah, I think quite a lot of the 11 is kind of self-picking here. That's for a second, I'm going to assume that they don't go with this new kid. So I would go with Head, Warner, Marsh, Maxwell, Wade, Green, Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, and Zampa. So I think at least those 10 names for me are shoo-in. And I'm left with 1 slot that probably I think goes to.
Just say that again. Head, Warner, Marsh, Maxwell.
Wade.
Wade.
And Cam Green.
Okay.
And then you have Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, and Zampa, obviously. Like those 4 are, I think, no debate around those 4.
Yeah.
Right. So you're left with 1 slot. Now you could either bring in a Stoinis here and have him batting at like 7 or 8, or you could bring in this new kid and move Warner down to 3. I think those are both options that are workable.
My take is that if I think about my own 11, I feel like I think this Jake guy is probably good in the top order. So is Cam Green, and you haven't put Tim David in this, right? So I think you need somebody to be a finisher towards the end. So I'm assuming Wade and Maxwell can do that, but I feel like I would be tempted to, if I were you, I would probably leave Green out. And at this point, I mean, that's a hard one to make, right? But like, honestly, if I had to pick my 11, I would put Jake Fraser in, take Cam Green out, and then have Tim David in the 11. That's what I would do. The rest of it would be the same.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can have our own 11s. You don't have to close in on the 11.
Yeah. So I think, David. So I was thinking Stoinis as a finisher, but yes, Tim David is probably a bit better suited for the finisher role. And also, Especially if Marsh is fit to bowl, right? So Marsh is most likely, if Marsh is fit to bowl, then Stoinis is probably like there's less of a chance of Stoinis playing. But if Marsh is not fit to bowl, then you probably need the backup bowler, sixth or seventh bowler in Stoinis coming in.
Yeah.
Right? Because with this 11, you are banking on Maxwell to pitch in with 3-4 overs, right? As well. So you have the four specialists and Maxwell. So you need cover. You have cover from Marsh, but if Marsh is not playing, then you need either Stoinis. Marsh is not bowling, sorry. Then you need either Stoinis or Green to be providing you the backup cover.
So my 11 would be Head and Fraser McGurk opening the batting, Warner at 3, which he's never done in his life, but sometimes you have to do stuff. And then there's Maxwell at 4, Stoinis at 5, Wade at 6, Tim David at 7, and then in whatever
where did
order.
Marsh go?
Sorry?
Where did Marsh go?
It's a good question. I can't leave Marsh out.
So you have to have Marsh at 4.
I mean, I would know, but then who do I leave out? I guess I have to leave Stoinis out then.
Yeah. I think so. If Fraser comes in, then basically Warner and Marsh drop down, right? So then it becomes Head, Fraser, Warner, Marsh,
Maxwell, Wade, and then Tim David, and then Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, and Zampa in some order.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. So those of you watching, if you have a view on what you think the side should be, please leave it in the comments and tell us what you think the 11 should be. Imran, final word on the Australian 11 and the 15. What do you think of how good do they look?
Yeah, like we said at the beginning, right? Insanely strong, for sure. I mean, right now their bowling is, I think without a doubt the best bowling lineup around. Like these 4 guys would walk into any team across the world any day, and with the batting also extremely explosive. So definitely very, very strong. But like we said, when is Australia not one of the favorites?
When we did the India preview, I think Vivek said that he didn't think India had the kind of firepower all the other teams did. But I feel like if you look at this Australian lineup, they could easily be scoring like 240 regardless of what conditions they play in. And they're not too many teams, I think, who you can say that about. But that's just how good they look. And then the bowling speaks for itself. The only weak link in the squad is that if Zampa is injured, there's no real backup spinner. That's the only link. Otherwise, I think they're as good as anybody.
Or the 5th and 6th bowler, potentially.
I mean, yeah, but then, with combination of Maxwell, Green, Marsh, whoever the Stoinis, I feel like they can probably. That's how they won the World Cup.
They have it, but it could be a bit of a weakness that some teams could look to exploit. But I mean, the other 4 are so good that they'll probably make up for it. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff, Imran. Thank you for being on.
Pleasure to be here, Faris.
And we'll be back soon with some more cricket. In the meantime, stay tuned to the shiny side.